Hey everybody, welcome back to the MINIAC. Welcome to a live stream tonight. And yes, this is a live stream on your thoughts regarding the Paul Smith mini strip. And I'm curious to hear actually what you all have to say about this, because while I think it's kind of interesting, I know that there's a lot of people out there who have various opinions on it and either like it, don't like it. It's kind of an interesting thing, but I'm going to pull it up on the screen for you all to see. So this is the mini strip, the side profile anyway, and it was co-designed between Paul Smith Designs and basically Mini Corporate. It was basically, the way it is, it's a simplified essence of a car, as it were. I mean, literally the essence of a car. There's not much to it. All the interior is pretty much stripped out of it. There's parts that have been replaced. The roof has been replaced with plexiglass. The door cards have been replaced with cork. The door pulls have been replaced with climbing rope. The dashboard looks like it's like a paper mache kind of thing, and the only thing there is like where you put your phone instead. The steering wheel is even simplified, where the airbags go throughout the car. You can actually see them, and basically there's no roof because it's plexiglass. So that's basically how this car is looking. Now, just to give you a little bit of background on Paul Smith, he is widely known for this particular car that I'm going to show you here. And if any of you know this car, you'll know that Paul Smith was known for this particular car, all striped up, looking really cool, really retro, kind of a classic Mini. And that was his famous car. That's his most famous vehicle. And this is the one, when you think Paul Smith, you think of this car. And it's a great looking car. It's really cool. I really like it. But he was also known for another special edition car that I'm going to share with you all. And you'll get a little bit of idea of where the coloring came from in the mini strip. So this is another special edition of his that he created. And it's kind of an I think it's called anthracite blue. Anthracite metallic no, not anthracite blue. I'm sorry. It's basically Paul Smith blue, anthracite wheels. I made a mistake on that. Really interesting looking color. Now, take a look at that color. And now I'm going to pull the, see if I can find the overhead. There's the overhead view. I'm going to pull the overhead view of the mini strip, and you can see exactly what I'm talking about here. So it's basically his signature color has gotten pulled into this car. And basically the inside of the vehicle is all this cobalt blue, as it were, and the exterior is basically bare metal. Not quite bare metal. They actually treated it so that it wouldn't rust, but it's basically a bare metal exterior. Really interesting to see how this was done. There are photographs out there that shows the construction process, so it's really kind of cool to actually look at the photos and see how it was done and why it was done. And it is a very interesting design study about kind of like what you need, what you could need in a car, what you don't need in a car. Yes, we all love our high-tech gadgets that we all need to have, all of our creature comforts and everything. But it's kind of interesting to see what you can do with very little to create an interesting look in a vehicle. Like the door panels, the door cards, they're mesh and cork and climbing rope. And it's really interesting to look at this and see how this was done. And then, of course, we got the blue, again, being visible right there. It looks, yeah, like as Florida Brompton Girl said, it looks cool. It does look cool. Is it practical? Could you actually drive around in it? I think they would have to tint the plexiglass roof significantly before I would drive it as a daily car. As it is basically, it is the essence of a car. It's not like the car is even there. It's like it's just kind of insinuation of a car. The seats, though, look incredibly comfortable. I really think these seats are comfortable looking. But, I mean, they look like a combination, a little bit of pieces of other seats. So we have, like, the sections from the lounge leather seats, and then it looks like the bases are either lounge leather or they are for the lounge leather interiors, or they are for the standard seats. I'm not exactly sure. But, I mean, it looks really cool to see it like this. So it's a really nice interior. But we're going to go back. Let me go back to that roof area again so you can kind of see what I'm talking about from the top. So look at that steering wheel. Look where the smartphone is. It's kind of the essence of a car. So you got the steering wheel. You don't have a speedometer. not that most of us Mini enthusiasts out there really care how fast we're going, but it doesn't have a speedometer. There's no tach. There's just a place for your iPhone or your Android or whatever. There's a place for your steering wheel. There's no cover for the airbag on that steering wheel. There's no like extra leather coverings and detailings to kind of hide all those elements. Basically, all the stuff, all like the safety equipment is visible. All the frame of the car is visible. And another thing that's kind of cool about that is it allows you to really see how the cars are built, or how the car is built. The stuff you don't see because it's all covered up with that wonderful anthracite headliner, if you manage to get one of those, or all those other great things. It's just it's really strange. I kind of like it, but at the same time, I kind of like, nah, I need to have my heated seats. I need to have my radio. I need to have my cruise control and radio controls on the steering wheel. I need to have my tinted windows and all that stuff. I need to have car around me. And this almost is like lack of car. What's kind of interesting is I almost equated the way this car was put together to basically how a first generation classic Mini Cooper, or not Mini Cooper, but classic Austin Mini was when it was built in 1959. Basically the essence of a car. It was everything you needed and not the extra stuff that you didn't need. Now, we all claim that we need heated seats and all that great stuff. I love heated seats. I want to have them. I actually kind of wish we had air-conditioned seats. That'd be kind of cool. But this is kind of an interesting take on a Mini Cooper and kind of showing the essence of the car. And not everyone likes it, but I think it's kind of interesting. But anywho, Timothy Daniel says, did they specify the actual weight savings? They did not say anything about weight savings with this car. This car is a Mini Cooper SE electric. So I imagine taking out the headliner, changing the roof for plexiglass. It didn't have a sunroof on there, so there's that. I guess they might have saved maybe a couple £100. I really don't know. It's just it's really an interesting looking vehicle, but I don't know if they saved any weight by changing all those things. I don't know. It's just kind of the strange way that this car is put together. Another thing I like to see here is they did something with the wheels that's kind of interesting. So we're going to look at this, get a little closer here, and you can see those are the pedal spoke wheels on there. And what they did is it looks like they put a cover of some sort on them, but it kind of gives it a different look. It almost, to a degree, makes the wheels look smaller, I'd say, which might harken back to the classic Mini aesthetic. But I don't know. It's kind of an interesting look. They almost look like maybe they're either transparent or they're not. I can't tell for sure. Another thing you'll notice is that the wheel arches are all screwed on. And that's kind of a neat thing too. Basically, like where everything attaches, just screwed onto the car. Now, naturally, the screws don't look like they go where you would actually have the clips, as far as I can tell, based on the side skirts and everything. I'm just looking at this, and it kind of looks like, I don't know. It's really strange. See if I can find another. Here's a good overhead view of the car. I tried to find a front-on photo of the car, and I'm not able to find one at the moment. At least not here. So here's the overhead view of the car, and you get to see a little bit more. That entire dash pad is cork, and it's really simplified. Now, I'm a little surprised they still went ahead and put a Cooper S bonnet on it, or a Cooper SE bonnet on it. They could have done a Cooper bonnet. It would have even been more simplified. The front grille is what I'm trying to find a picture of, because I kind of think it's interesting to see what they did there. And I think the best picture I can actually find of it is on BMW's Press Club, which I'm going to show you here shortly. So we're going to go to the Press Club and scroll down, go to the photos, and here's the front of the car. So there's that front of the car. That grille is definitely way different than the current grille we have on the car. Now, I kind of like it because it actually looks like a full grille. I know a lot of people are going to think it looks terrible because it hides the pedestrian bumper. It kind of just looks like it swallows up the whole front of the car. Someone could say it looks like the Wilford Brimley's mustache if they really wanted to. I mean, there's all sorts of comparisons you could come up with for that front grille. On the plus side, it doesn't look like a Fu Manchu mustache anymore. It looks, I don't know. It's kind of funny looking at it now, how it kind of looks a little, I don't know. Okay, I want to hear your thoughts on that. But I did get a message here from my friend Mayo Chickens. I'll have to pass on this one. I just got home and I feel as if I really don't have much to say about the strip. It speaks for itself as it is down to its bare bones. So yeah, it is basically exactly that. It is stripped. It is down to its bare bones. There is nothing there. Now, another thing that's kind of surprising to me is they went ahead with the rear of the car and they put the regular like previous model year taillights on the back, non JCW. I'm sorry, not non JCW, non Union Jack taillights. So these are halogen taillights. So it's a little different to see those on the back of the car when I'm so used to seeing the Union Jack ones for the last couple of years. So it's really kind of strange to see that. But I mean, if it fits the way that this guy, Paul Smith, wanted this car to look, sure, why not? I noticed his signature is on the back as well. His signature was on the front. His signature was on the dash right here. There's his signature right there. So you don't have a speedometer in front of you, but you do have Paul Smith's signature. And yes, it is a very nice signature, but I kind of want to know how fast I'm going to a degree. But I mean, it happens. So I want to pop into the interior again. So we're going to go to the interior and different photo. And this is a better view of the actual interior of the car, so you can kind of see a little bit more of it. But there's the cobalt blue again. There's the cork. I think they even went as far as putting cork visors. Yep, there's cork visors there too. That is funny. Or I guess it makes sense. There's clips right here for something. I don't know what that is. Off to the sides, the air vents are different. The center thing is different. Screen is different here. I mean, it looks really interesting. Kind of has an airplane kind of aerospace kind of vibe to it with the dash. Kind of an aerospace vibe to the steering wheel. I did notice they used handlebar tape from bicycles on the steering wheel. That's kind of interesting. I noticed that the seats have a lack of thigh rests right here. So there's that. They did, however, manage to still put speakers in the doors. So they do have that. So that's pretty that's at least you got some speakers so you can actually listen to your music at least. And there you go. You can actually listen to your music. Granted, you're going to probably be using your music off your iPhone or your smartphone device because that's the only place you're going to be able to do that. So yeah, we're going to pop back out here a second. And Slick Ricky Johnson. Love that screen name. It looks meh, but it's unique. Me and my girl are shopping for a Mini. Keep trying to tell her that I think the Clubman won't get another gen from rumors. Before better safe than sorry. Why are wagons dying? Basically, I think the Clubman is going to stick around for another generation. We're on the second generation of the Clubman. I can't imagine that they would want to get rid of that car. It is a fantastic vehicle. I mean, I know a lot of people out there really don't like I know there's a lot of people out there who think the Clubman looks too big or so on and so forth. I tend to ignore those people because I think that the Clubman is just a fantastic car. And I do have a video coming up on the Clubman. There is a Clubman video I have coming up. I think it's going to be Friday, and it's going to be a classic trim Clubman. It's a really cool looking car, and it's really nice. It's kind of a little bit, it's almost stripped down. You could say it's a stripped down version of an iconic trim, I guess. So there's no navigation. It's leather interior, no Harman Kardon, but it's still a great all-wheel drive, 8-speed automatic, comfortable car. But I mean, it's going to be kind of cool. And I think it's still for sale at Baron Mini. So if you're interested in that car, give them a call and see if they still have it, and maybe you can buy it off of them. I know that it's a great-looking vehicle, has nice melting silver stripes on it and everything, so I'd go after that car even. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know. I think the Clubman's going to stick around for a while. But back to the topic at hand, that is a very, very simplified, very pared-down interior, and I kind of like it. What's funny is the center circle with the smartphone plugged in there. I knew someone a few years back. He works at another shop now, but he used to work at the Mini dealership, and he managed to create. I don't know how he did it, but he managed to mount his iPad on the center speedometer, so he could like stick his iPad right in the center of the car, and listen and basically plug it into his aux input, and then have his music and whatever else he wanted on that. So he actually had an iPad mounted to the center of the car. So this is kind of that same thing, kind of going that way. You can basically use your smartphone, plug it into the center of the screen, and now your smartphone is your extra gauges or your Apple CarPlay or your radio, whatever you want to do. So that might be a cool thing in the future to have something like that. And yeah, it'd be kind of interesting. So Mayo Chickens is still chiming in here. What I'm curious to know is who will purchase this Mini if it went into production. What market audience would this be intended for? Well, I can tell you that the car is not going to be put into production. This is a art piece, basically. It's a kind of a design study. It's an art piece. It was put together just to show, like, hey, this is what you could do. Now, they had Paul Smith special editions before, so it's possible that they could take some of the attributes of this, maybe even that really pretty cobalt blue, and they could incorporate those into a special edition for the outgoing F-56 when it gets ready to leave. So it's possible they could incorporate some of these details into a special edition car. But we also possibly are seeing some elements that might make their way into the 4th gen Mini Cooper, which would be pretty cool. Some of the aesthetic I kind of like. It's very clean lined. I like the clean lines. I like the simplicity of it. But my thing is, I like simplicity, but I also like complexity. But I like complexity where it looks simple. So like a clean line. So like, for example, I'm not a fan of Tesla, but the Tesla's interiors are really kind of clean lined, very simple looking. Yet the car is far from a simple car. So doing something like that with Mini, having the circles and everything in there, have it very kind of pared down and almost sparse looking, but it's kind of deceiving with all that stuff. That would be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool to see that. Now, not everyone would feel that way. Some people would probably want to have more of the crazy tech and everything in the car. They want to have the gigantic speedometers. They want to have the gauges and everything. So, yeah, I guess there's going to be a market out there for people who are going to want that, and there's going to be a market out there for people who are going to want something very simple. Given that Mini is going in the direction of full electric by 2030, it's possible that something as simple like this is going to actually be something we're going to see come out of Plant Oxford at some point. In the meantime, we're going to keep getting our wonderful F-56 cars that I love. I know a lot of you out there do love them. I know some of you out there who don't love them. But I think they're amazing cars, and I think it's going to be really cool to see those cars, or to see what comes in the future. But, I mean, at the moment, this is a really interesting design study here. So, another comment here, Paul Walker. Hi all, I'm getting the Cooper S in 12 days, the 2-liter engine, but it's only 178 horsepower. It's a disability car. How can I get more horsepower? I'm not sure why. Well, I take that back. I know why the UK and EU have lowered their horsepower rating for some strange reason, and it has to do with emissions, basically, which is strange because we still get the 189 horsepower version in the US, and I feel like if they dropped the horsepower on the Cooper S in the US to 178, it might hurt sales, and that's probably why they didn't do it in the US. But the demand for the Cooper S in the UK and the European Union is still strong enough that lowering the horsepower doesn't seem to affect the sales of the car. As far as increasing your horsepower, I don't know if you're in the European Union or UK. I don't know if Australia has that. I don't know where exactly you are, Paul, but it's kind of a situation where I don't know what you could do to really increase the horsepower on that. I guess you could change the exhaust. I know they have a Pro exhaust still available for those cars, so you could do that, get yourself a little bit more power. You could do maybe an intercooler. You could do an intake possibly. I might first of all focus on the suspension, maybe just get some stuff, do some stuff with the suspension and the wheels and tires to make sure it's more fun to handle around corners, and then focus on the horsepower later. But I mean, it's not a terrible amount of horsepower. 178 is still pretty decent, but I'm not sure what your torque level is. So if it's 178, but you still have 199 foot-pounds of torque or something like that, I wouldn't, or 207 foot-pounds of torque. I don't know if I would worry about the horsepower too much because the torque is what makes these cars a lot more fun to drive. But I'm hoping that information might help you out. If it didn't, I apologize. But that's pretty much all I could offer on that. Matt says, "Good day from Australia. The stripped back bare metal look and feel, no aircon, etc., has some mini moke vibes." Well, it does kind of have mini moke vibes, but the mini moke was so stripped down that it didn't even have a roof, so it technically had air conditioning. It just, you had basically all the air was basically coming into your car. I was trying to come up with a joke for that, and it didn't work out on me. I think it does have, I want to say it does have air conditioning because looks like it has 2 vents there, unless those are speakers. But I don't know, especially with that plexiglass roof. I'd want air conditioning in that car like that. Try driving that around Kansas City in the summertime, it would just cook you. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It does have kind of mini moke vibes. It does have kind of classic mini vibes. It's an interesting car. Isaac Rivera, it looks incomplete. I don't like it. Maybe in person may look better. If they ever decide to bring this car around to dealership so we can actually take a look at it in person, that would be incredible. I would be the first in line to take a look at this thing up close because it's an interesting car. There's really nothing else. There's really nothing negative that I could say about it, and I just don't know. I'd have to actually see this car up close. It looks interesting, but I agree with you. It may look better in person. That's usually how it is with most special editions or concept cars, is they look different in pictures and they always look better in person. The car itself looks shock. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that, but okay. Paul Walker said thanks for that. I'm in the UK. Okay, well, Paul, I'm hoping there's some stuff out there that will increase the horsepower on those cars. Check at what's that company? Lowen Racing or Lowen Mini? I'm not sure. They do tuning on Mini Coopers. They might know how to fix that and give you a little bit more oomph out of your car. So I've checked with them or one of the other groups, one of the other tuners in the UK. There's got to be someone out there that could possibly give you a little bit more horsepower. So, but yeah, I mean, it's interesting. That's all I really have. I don't really have anything negative to say about this car. It's just very, very interesting. On a different note, I am kind of keen on these orange seatbelts. I don't know why. I kind of like the orange seatbelts. It's just kind of a weird thing. But I mean, if they were red seatbelts, they'd be GP seatbelts. But they're orange. That's another interesting thing. Orange and cobalt blue actually go really well together. Orange and blue in general just look really good together. But I think that the red buckles on the seatbelts kind of spoils it just a little bit. I mean, I know it's not that much red, but it kind of just spoils it just a hair. But I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it looks really cool. It's interesting looking. I kind of like that fabric. I kind of would want to see that on an actual production car. That kind of simple. I think it's almost a black. It's not really a black. It's kind of a dark blue fabric, but I really like it. And I wouldn't mind seeing that on a production vehicle at some point. But no telling what else Mini is planning to do with this car. I mean, I'm sure they got some ideas. Some harebrained, some not so harebrained. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. The concept car looks very similar. I didn't show you a picture of the concept of the renderings for the car because it looks very much the same, I would say. But I can show you the how they put it together, basically. And that's kind of neat. So this is a diagram from courtesy of Outmotoring. I'm not courtesy of Outmotoring. I'm terribly sorry. Courtesy of Motoring Files. Sorry, Mr. Bridger. But yeah. And it looks pretty interesting here. I wouldn't mind seeing that. It's kind of interesting. It's just interesting to see how this was put together here. So you can see all the components going together to make this car. And I'm trying to figure out what some of the stuff is. So we got he 3D printed something. Looks like he 3D printed the wheel arches and the side skirts. Oh, I'm having trouble reading his writing. So that grill apparently is transparent. That's interesting. There's something I didn't know. So yeah, apparently it has a transparent grill. But some people might ask, well, is the car drivable? Well, it is. Based on the pictures of it parked in the plant, it looks to actually be very much drivable. And it's just sitting there hanging out, basically. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. That's really, there's really no other way to describe it except it's interesting. It's definitely a designer's take on a car, and whether you love it or you hate it, it's an interesting take on a car. Everyone designs their minis differently. Everyone does something different with their car. I know someone out there who probably thinks this cobalt blue would look better if it were purple. I think it would probably look interesting in orange, maybe. It might be a little bright that way, but there's a lot of different ways they could have done this. Cobalt blue is kind of a Paul Smith's thing, so that's why it ended up being a blue or a blue aesthetic. I think it's pretty cool. But let's pop over to some more comments. We got David Wealthy Guerrero. Hi there. Thank you for your thanks for your company. I'm planning to move out to Canada. Do you think MC is useful for snowy weather? Mini Coopers drive really well in the snow. If you're concerned about getting stuck in the snow, I'd recommend all-wheel drive. So I'd recommend the Clubman or the Countryman. If you want more ground clearance, then obviously the Countryman would be the car to get. But as far as just general driving in snowy weather, the Mini Coopers in general are pretty decent to drive in the snow. So I wouldn't necessarily worry about it too much. But given that it's Canada, I might look at a Clubman or a Countryman. And if you want to go even more extreme with the Clubman, check out Car Creations YouTube channel. Ethan Jones over there, he has a lifted Mini Cooper Clubman. It's kind of cool looking. It's definitely different to see a lifted Mini Cooper, but definitely something I would take a look into. And Paul Walker came back in. Hi, will the insurance be higher on that car because it will not have any safety features? Given the fact that this car the car does have safety features. It has side impact airbags. It has the head curtain airbags. I don't know if it has the side. I think it does have the side impact. I don't know if it has at least one of the two front impact airbags. So I don't think the insurance would be higher on this car, but as they're not putting it into mass production, I don't think we have anything to worry about with this particular vehicle. Now, if they decide to put it into mass production, you can definitely be sure they would probably make a lot more changes to this car before putting it into production for people to own, basically. So it's interesting. It's really interesting. There's another picture I have here showing some more of the design process, and it's just kind of cool to see how they put this whole thing together. So there's a little bit of the designing going on here. I'm going to try to find a picture here. It shows them working on it. So here's one good one. This is them putting the dash into the car, as you'll see shortly. And as you can see, that is a pretty light dash. I would say that's probably I want to say that's maybe I can't figure that out. Maybe it's just molded plastic. It almost looks transparent to a degree. So I'm not sure. It's an interesting looking dash to say otherwise. But yeah, I want to know more about what you guys think of all this. What do you think of this car? Do you think it's really cool? Do you think it's kind of insane? I guess, like, what the heck were they thinking kind of deal? Or would you own one like that? Would you possibly own a car like that? Would you have this mini in your driveway if you could? Because I don't know. I don't know if I would or not, but it is an electric car, so this is kind of a interesting take on an electric mini. I don't know how I would feel about driving an electric car with all that metal exposed, but yeah, I mean, you never know. It's interesting. The coloring, though, kind of looks cool. I think Mini could get away with doing I mean, here's the thing. The brushed exterior kind of has a white silver paint look to it. The cobalt blue looks really sharp. I have a feeling that they could get away with doing something like this with a white silver Mini Cooper S, or even Cooper S, or even Mini Cooper SE, or even a Cooper, and doing a cobalt blue roof as an option for these cars. That would make this a pretty interesting aesthetic, having a cobalt blue roof. I mean, you can already get pretty close with white silver and have a, I think you could do white silver and multi-tone roof. I don't know if you can, but white silver and a multi-tone roof would look very similar to this, but I think doing a actual cobalt blue roof would be pretty sharp on one of these minis. I actually wouldn't mind even trying it myself on my own car just to see what it would look like, but because I have a lot of red accents on the car, adding blue in there just would be a little bit overkill. But yeah, I mean, I want to hear what other people have to say. I know we only have 10 people watching this, but I'm sure other people are going to watch this later and will probably want to comment about their thoughts on this car. But I mean, it is just very, very interesting. But considering this is a very pared down, very kind of plain, in a way, aesthetic, I want to show you a little bit more of what he used to have, or he used to do. So there's a little bit more behind Paul Smith here. So we're going to look at some of his earlier work. So this is the car that we all know fairly well. And I'm going to enlarge the screen here so you can see this. This is a car we know very well because it's just reminiscent. It's just the epitome of Mini. What I didn't know was that it had a very multi-toned interior, like seriously multi-toned interior. There's multiple different shades of colors, different colors in there. There's orange, there's green. There's just lots of stuff in there. I mean, it is a very bright car. So it's interesting how his aesthetics over time went from this to a very kind of clean line, simplified version like this. So it's really strange to see the changeover. You're not exactly sure where or why he did that, but it's, I mean, it looks good. I give him props for that. This is an interesting looking car. I'm looking at it and I see the black mirror cap, so I'm like, this could be a good color combination. We could do white silver, cobalt blue roof with black mirrors. That would be a pretty cool special edition Mini to come out if they were to do that. And I know I'd be interested in buying one. As far as practicality with owning this actual car, if they were to actually build it, it's a little too stripped down. I mean, if they made it a race car, sure, it'd be kind of fun like that. As a die-cast model sitting on your shelf, why not? This would be incredible in that configuration. I would do that in a heartbeat. So, I mean, it's interesting. It's really interesting to see how this came out. But I still, like I said, I still want to hear more of your thoughts out there. I know there's a handful of you still watching this, and I wanted to give you at least some mini content today because I gave you guys a BMW video this morning, and apparently it fell flat again. I don't know why. I can't seem to do mini video or BMW videos, but it's interesting story. It's interesting thought there, because I remember when I first started this channel that I did not get a lot of views on my first videos. I would get a couple hundred maybe, and it was just videos like that. I was doing like any kind of Mini Cooper video, and then bringing in, and then so trying to do BMW videos with an audience that's not used to seeing me do BMW videos might be a reason why I should probably consider doing BMWs on a separate channel and keeping this channel strictly Mini. The reason that I'm trying to incorporate a little bit more is I'm having a shortage on getting cars at the moment, and cars are just hard to come by right now. So I'm trying to get everything filmed that I can and get it out there to you all, and it's just a little difficult to sometimes get content. So when I can get some content, I try to share it with you all. When I can't, then I try to make other videos using something Mini related so that I can get you guys something out there every week that's a Mini video. Because I can run out of videos very fast when I do that. And in fact, one year I got pretty burned out. Actually, I did a full year of 3 videos a week, and that was enough to drive me up a wall. And I was amazed that I managed to get all those done. But that was a lot of filming and editing and lots of stuff, getting cars, getting anything I could to do videos with, and right now things are just kind of slow. So as soon as I can get some more cars, get some more stuff to do some more videos for you guys, you bet I'm going to be bringing those videos out to you all soon. Wonder what other car I could get that'd be kind of interesting. Do a comparison between it and a Mini Cooper. A friend of mine suggested a while back doing a video on his smart car, and I'm almost tempted to possibly do that, kind of compare it to Mini Cooper. I know it'd be really strange because those cars are like complete polar opposites, but it may be kind of funny to give it a try and just see what happens. It'd be pretty cool. You never know. But we're gonna pop back over here with the comments section, and we have can't currently get white silver multi-tone roof. Too bad because it would go well. Thank you for that. I'm assuming that's Ian. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate that. So yeah, unfortunately you can't get multi-tone roof of white silver, which I think, hey Minnie, if you're watching, how about give us multi-tone roof on white silver? It would look really good. I mean, look at it. You're looking at blue on a silver car. I mean, it would work so well. So we'll see what happens. I mean, worst case scenario, get yourself, if you really want a cobalt blue roof on a white silver Mini, get yourself a white silver Mini and then have someone wrap the roof in cobalt blue. It would look pretty good. So you could get away with that. And even I would do that if I had one. In fact, if I got a JCW in white silver, I might do that, do a cobalt blue roof just for kicks because I think it would look pretty sharp. But that's just me. So what else do we have here going on today? Not much. I'm going to give you a few little updates here from me for my channel. I have been working very hard on a lot of videos. I have the entire BAV Sound installation video series done, filming, that is. I still have to edit the videos and then put them up. As pain in the butt as that whole thing was, especially for the back section. Now, if you have a four-door Mini, the back section's pretty easy because it's all doors. In my case, it was all interior trim panels. So popping off interior trim panels can really frustrate the heck out of you. So trying to do all that was just not fun. But I definitely recommend if you're going to do that route, definitely have someone with you. You can do this by yourself or with a friend, and you can do this DIY, but it's definitely a little tedious. You definitely have to plan ahead, know what you're doing, be prepared for any mishaps or any errors or anything you're not prepared for. Just be prepared to like lose clips for that matter. I did lose a screw down inside the car somewhere, and I'm sure one day it'll come back out, but it was a screw holding a piece of trim that's inside of another piece of trim, and I'm like, okay, I'm just not going to bother. Another thing you want to be careful for is the A pillar, B pillar, C pillars. You can definitely see the airbag, the head curtain airbags from those spots. So when you pop that trim piece out, don't touch it, basically. Be very careful about putting the thing back, the trim piece back in, so you don't hit those airbags, because I don't know what would happen if we did hit one of those. I'm assuming nothing would happen because the car's off, but it could just decide it wants to blow just for kicks. So, I mean, be careful when you're working on it. I was unprepared for the fact that the auxiliary outlet in the trunk area was soldered in and not just a plug. And that made it difficult to get to one of the speakers on the side. On the passenger side, I actually had to leave the panel in the car and carefully get the speaker out in order to do that. So that made it a little bit of a challenge. But I did manage to get it done. The A pillars were one of the easier ones. The center of the dash, definitely easy. If you have the right tools, the subs under the seats were very easy. The only drawback with those that I noticed is that because they are a lot thicker than the stock ones, they don't quite fit under the grills. So I managed to get the grills back in, got them secured and everything, but they are definitely on top of those subs. So, I mean, just use your best judgment. If you don't care about that and if you're not concerned about them doing that, then go ahead and do it. I mean, the sound quality is amazing now. I mean, it sounds really good. Every song I've played in my car today sounded very different from before with the Harman Kardon. That means, though, I now have an entire set, not including the amp, an entire set of Harman Kardon speakers sitting at my house because I pulled all of them out of my car and now have BAV Sound speakers all over the place in the car. But I'm not sure what I'm going to do with all those speakers. Maybe I can sell them to somebody. I don't know if they would work correctly without the amp. So I think you would actually need the amp. What else has been going on? I did a drive with a 2005 Mini Cooper SJCW, so there'll be a video on that. So yes, I'm doing a first-gen Mini video soon, and I think you're going to get a kick out of that. I'm working on some ideas right now for a video, and one of those videos is basically going to be the 10 best, dramatic pause, 10 best used minis you can buy. This is based off of a 2019 article from Autocar magazine. So I'm going to kind of go through this and pull that up. So this is going to be basically a British version of that thing. And then I'm also going to do one on which used Mini Cooper is the most reliable. So that's going to be an interesting one, is doing a video like that, talking about all the generations of the Mini and which generation is the most reliable. I mean, it's a given that the third gen minis are the most reliable, but I mean, it tells you that I'm going to be able to tell you guys which minis to look for, what issues to when you encounter them, to what you should do, what to avoid. Basically, it's going to be an interesting video. And then I have some other stuff planned, like, what am I also looking at here? The pros and cons of owning a Mini Cooper. That should be a fun one for you guys. I'm not sure how that's going to be received. It could be well received, could be not. It all depends. And I'm working on at least a few others out here. But we'll see how those things go. I mean, they're going to be great. It's going to be another great couple of videos as well, because I got other things coming. I have another video that I'm planning to put out for you guys on the, what is it called? The Vision Urbanaut again, the Urbanaut. They actually, I thought it was just going to stay as a CGI rendering. Nope, they actually built it. So there's going to be a video of the actual Urbanaut driving, and I was like, when I saw it, I was like, they actually built the thing, because it didn't look like there was any way that it could be built, but they actually managed to do it. So it's a pretty interesting vehicle. Not everybody likes it. A lot of people think it looks like a Volkswagen van, but I think it's kind of an interesting modern take on something. I guess it kind of, you're just gonna have to see the car. I mean, it's interesting looking. I know I've used the word interesting quite a bit right now, but it's gonna be a unique video to see that. What else do I got going on? I got a video coming out. If you all remember the WRC Pro Drive Mini Countryman, I did find some footage of that car being built, being tested, and being demonstrated. So I'm going to be pulling that out of the dustbin from corporate, and you guys are going to get to watch that as well. So that's going to be another fun video for you guys. I also have a video of the launch of the 2009 John Cooper Works hardtop and the 2009 John Cooper Works Clubman. So there's going to be 2 of those videos coming as well. I mean, I have a bunch more videos coming that I think you're all gonna really love. Obviously, you didn't really like this BMW video, which is funny because the BMW E92 video, was it E92? F92? Or is it F82? I think it was F82. I don't know. I can't remember. The BMW M8. I made that video last year, and I worked really hard on that video, and it did not do as well as I had hoped. So I was a little surprised about that, but it was not unexpected. So I might just have to bite the bullet and just build a separate BMW YouTube channel just for that stuff. I mean, I know there's tons of BMW YouTube channels out there. I know there's tons of Mini Cooper YouTube. There's not really tons of Mini Cooper YouTube channels out there. There's only a handful, but I know BMWs are done to death. So I mean, we'll see what happens with that. But we're gonna have something I'm gonna do something with the BMW stuff at some point. More than likely, it's gonna go into a separate channel. And then we got David Wealthy Guerrero. Yoo-hoo, excellent topics, top 10. Here you got a funny topic to explore. Cars which owners disguised as Mini Coopers. Huh. Hey, I like your thinking. I like your thinking. That's good. That could be funny. That could be really funny. And I'm thinking of a car right now, but that could be really, that kind of reminds me of when they did the counterfeit Mini stuff back in like the early 2000s when they launched the Minis in the US. All the cars that were like, all like the gigantic 1980s, late 70s American cars. They like put bonnet stripes on them and made them tried to make them look like Minis, and they were all counterfeit Minis. cars which owners disguise as Mini Coopers. That would be funny. I also think cars that were cars whose color schemes were inspired by Mini Coopers. Because if you've seen anything coming out of Toyota lately, they're doing contrasting roofs. Kia is doing contrasting roofs. I'm sure I could find another couple of car brands out in the U.S. that are doing contrasting roofs on their cars, and most of that I think has a lot to do with Mini. So that could be pretty interesting to see to do as well. But the cars which owners disguised as Mini Coopers, that would be funny. I think that'd be hysterical. I don't know where I would find all those. So, I mean, I'm on Instagram at the.miniac. So if you find a picture of a Mini, no, I should say that. If you find a picture of a car that is trying to look like a Mini, disguised as a Mini, even a counterfeit one, or even the fake ones that the Chinese knocked off over in China, send me those pictures and I will put those together into a fun video for you guys. I think that'd be hysterical to do a video like that. Just kind of like go on like what is so wrong with this car. But I mean, it's kind of funny. It's like if you're going to copy the Mini, why don't you just go buy the Mini? I mean, there's tons of them out there. Just go buy one if you're not, rather than try to make your car look like one. It's not going to work. I mean, everyone like I was talking to the guy who bought my old Clubman. He came by my house the other day. A Mini is instantly recognizable right off the bat. Doesn't matter if it's a first gen, second gen, classic, Clubman, Countryman, third gen Mini, Roadster, Coupe. There's an element on the vehicle, doesn't matter if it's a hatchback or not, that is instantly recognizable as a Mini. The shape, the front end, the back end of the car, the circular headlights, the way the grille looks, all those hallmarks. You see that car coming up behind you, you know it's a Mini Cooper. And that is one of the things that's interesting about this car brand that you don't see with any other car brand, is the fact that Mini is an instantly recognizable brand. You know what this car is. You know the car the minute you see it. Like, I was driving down a street in my town, in downtown area of my town today, and as I'm driving through the intersection, I hear this little girl yell, "It's a Mini!" And I was like, yep, there's somebody who recognizes the car. So it's like, I thought that was just so cool that little kids know these cars. It's like you could show them any other car. You could show them a Toyota Camry, a Hyundai Elantra, a Hyundai Sonata, Honda Accord, and it's like, it's just a car. You show them a Mini Cooper, and they instantly know it's a Mini. They instantly say it's a Mini Cooper. It's a Mini. It's just one of the most recognizable cars on the planet, and it's very hard to do something different than that. I mean, even the Fiat 500 failed because it kind of didn't really look like a Fiat 500. It was very hard to tell. Volkswagen Beetles, they're instantly recognizable as Volkswagen Beetles. There's cars out there that you see them, you know what they are right off the bat usually. But there's a lot of cars out there today, a lot of sedans and a lot of SUVs and a lot of minivans that all have similar shapes, similar styles. You're not going to see the styling of a Mini Cooper on another car brand. It's just not done. So the overall shape of a Mini Cooper is very unique, very specific to that brand. You're not going to get that anywhere else. And that's kind of one of the great things about these cars, is that they have that personality, basically. You see someone driving a Mini Cooper, you think that they're probably a pretty fun person to be around. You see someone driving a Toyota Camry, you're usually trying to get out of their way because they are changing lanes without signaling, running down the highway. But I digress. I've been on here now for going on 48 minutes, and I just want to let you all know there is apparently a discount code right now for my Spreadshirt store, MINIAC merch, and I think it's 20% off at the moment right now through Spreadshirt. So if you want to buy some cool shirts, go for it. You're going to probably get some really cool stuff. My Teespring store is still up and still available, and you can still get t-shirts from that, and you can still get some other cool shirts from them as well. And I think the discount codes are still apply for those as well if I still have them up. If you want a different discount code, let me know. I could probably work on one for you. Outmotoring.com, if you want, you can get a 5% discount on any order from there. Use code MINIAC5, and it gives you a 5% discount, obviously. Any shipment over $195 is free shipping. And yeah, they have some great stuff there if you want something for your car. Any kind of part you could possibly think of, I'm sure they have it. If you want parts for an Aston Martin, they have them. So, and I'm not paid to say this, but I'm going to say this because White Roof Radio does mini performance, speed, and style. It's outmotoring.com. So now, as far as vinyl goes, grill badges, stickers, go to motoringstripes.com. Use 5% discount code MINIAC. Get 5% off on your order. My own grill badges for my channel are on his website, Todd's website for Motoring Stripes. He also does vinyl orders. He can do special order for you. He can special cut bonnet stripes for you, any color you want. He does shipping. He can ship them to you, ship them with the instructions so you can put them on your car yourself. Or if you're in the Kansas City area, go by Baron Mini and make an appointment, and he'll come out and put them on your car for you. He's really good that way. It's just it's great. It's great vinyl. The vinyl products look good. Every Mini I've ever owned, he's done the vinyl on, and I've never been disappointed. The only thing I have been is indecisive, and the funny stories about that are every time I come up with a new design scheme for my car, he waits about 2 weeks because he knows I'm going to change my mind and want to do something different. And that's because my Mini Clubman last year, or back in 2019 to 2020, I think I changed the exterior graphics on that car in the last 3 months that I owned it like 3 times. Just kept changing things up. So it's funny, but he does great work. And if you want to buy products from him, he has some great stuff. I think he even has masks right now since we're heading back into that situation again. And he also has, I think he can even do T-shirts for you guys as well. So just get in touch with him. I think he has a way you can contact him directly if you want something more specific. You can even design your own grill badges, and he'll make them for you. So he can do custom stuff as well. So give him a call, give him an email, see what he can do for you, and you won't be disappointed. I can guarantee it. But we are now 51 minutes in. I have had a long day out in the sun. It's 9:21 p.m. and I've been on here for about an hour. But I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here. I want to thank everybody for watching. If you haven't done so, consider subscribing to the channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Check out my playlist on anything you could possibly want. You mentioned it: Countryman's, Clubman's, Electric, classics. I have one or two. I maybe have 1 or 2 or 3 classic videos. I don't remember. Roadsters, coupes. Go check out the Monster Roadster because the gigantic hood scoops on those minis look interesting. And but anyway, I'm just gonna let you all go with this. I'm just gonna remind you that life is too short to drive a boring car. So drive a Mini. Oh, and one more thing. August 26th is National Mini WTF Day. That is wave to friends. I mean, what did you think? What did you think it meant? But don't forget to always wave to another Mini when you see them. I know they don't always wave back, but don't forget to wave. I mean, it could make someone's day. You never know. But I'm going to see you all later. You all have a fantastic evening, a fantastic morning, fantastic afternoon, wherever you are around the world. I will see you all in the next video. Talk to you later.